Hello, happy Thursday, everybody. It's great to be back here again this week to share some fun brand new products. I'm going to be using the Celebratory Sips Sweet Collection today, which is so much fun. We're going to have a lot of fun playing around with it today. My name is Loritamarie from Loritamarie Crafts, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Calgary, and I love to share fun tips, techniques, ideas, inspiration to help you take your paper crafting supplies and turn them into beautiful projects. And of course, this week, we are welcoming the brand new catalog. So exciting. So it launched on Tuesday. We can now show you the full inside and all the goodies in there. So be sure you check it out. If you still need a catalog, I can mail you out one if you live in Canada. Or you can always find the PDFs online on Stampin' Up's website or on my own, Loritamarie But there's great things to check out in there, from simple crafting to whole suite collections where you can mix and match everything you like. Scrapbooking stuff. Now we have amazing scrapbooking workshop kits, which are so fun to use. And so I encourage you to check out the annual catalog or go online, of course, where all the things are. And this week, I wanted to mention that there are also online exclusives now. And so not only do we have this physical catalog, but we have these great selection of online exclusives. And they're not like inferior products by any means because they didn't make it in the catalog. They're just usually seasonal. They're like fresh and what you want kind of right now, and they're amazing. And so that's what we're going to be like featuring today. I mean, does that just scream summer or what, right? It's so much fun. So I encourage you just click on stampinup.ca and then you can check out their online exclusives, and then you know exactly what there is offering. And of course, I can't get everything, and so I'm showing you kind of what stuck out to me, but you're going to find a product that you love as well. Before we get to the crafting, I just have a couple things on the go. I always love to have classes available for you to get you crafting and into all the new stuff as well. And the one I'm really excited about right now is my catalog launch party. The annual launch party is my favorite event of the year. You can go onto my website and find all the information, and it's always a really good time. This is actually going to be the theme, the celebratory sips. Actually a hard word to say. It's going to be the theme of the event, but we're going to be playing with a bunch of new stuff. We'll make 4 cards together. If you're local in Calgary, you can come, and then we have fun games and prizes. If you want to get a to-go pack, if you live in Canada, I can put one in the mail for you. Or if you live outside of Canada, I have a tutorial option, and you can have fun creating the cards and just having some fun that way. So lots of options. Sign up is has to be in by next Thursday. So I just wanted to mention that. And I always have a monthly Stamp and Create class. This month features the Florals in Bloom suite, and it's so pretty. We're gonna make 2 really amazing cards. You're gonna love to do that as well. So you can check that out. And that's open till the 20th. So let's just get to it. I'm going to bring you down. I have a teeny bit of a cold, I think, so excuse my voice. Hopefully it doesn't like crack the whole time or anything like that. Hopefully it hangs out for the whole half hour here today, but I just really want to get into this fun summary paper called Celebratory Sips. And why I ended up getting it, I just wanted to explain, is because at first I thought, well, it's a little like one-dimensional, and like, to be honest, I'm not really like a big drinker or anything, and so I was like, do I need this? And the more I looked at it, I mean, the more I was like, look how pretty this is. And it's way more versatile than just drinks. And to be honest, there's so many fun drinks these days that they can be anything. They can be lemonade. They can be like a lavender lemonade. Like, come on. They can be like a virgin like mojito. Come on, there's so many fun things. So I think it's really versatile. I love this paper. And the colors are fun. We've got some of the brand new ink colors in here, plus some of our favorites. And it's just a fun summer feel to it. And let's show you the back side for our coordinating. So we've got the Timid Tiger, Secret Sea, some little dots on there. There we go. It's a great pattern. Blackberry Bliss with Berry Burst, Cloud Cover, Old Olive, and Strawberry Slush. Such a cute pattern. This one is my favorite. So fun. Okay. Oh, I'm hoping my voice hangs out with us for today. So this is the bundle called Cheers and Sips. And it has a lot of like little fun little details in it. And so we're going to go through some of the things today and all that it can do, especially with the designer series paper. There's a lot of coordination that can happen. So I'm going to show you kind of what I did to kind of get into my cards yesterday and how I created them, because sometimes it can be intimidating to get a brand new suite and then you're like, oh, I don't know what to start with, how to cut into my paper. And so this has kind of been my thing where just make a bunch of little samples, see what it does, and go from there. And so with this paper, let's bring back the full sheets here. So for this one, I recommend starting with this page here and just full on cutting these out. So you can cut them out and then you can mix them and match them on your paper, and we can add different details in a minute, which I'm going to share. So there is a coordinating die, of course. So this is the cup that's here, but it's also going to cut out these ones here that don't have any like extra details in them. So there's a few on each page that you can cut out, and then the other ones you can just fussy cut out, like this cute one here with the umbrella. So you can just go in and fussy cut those out. And here is the tall cup, right? So then there's some with nothing sticking out, so you can just cut those right out. So I think I've got one of those. Right, and then you can just cut them out, and now you've got some ready-made cups ready to go. And then the next thing I did, and we're going to stamp now, is this page. I'm just going to grab. So this one here is so fun. These can turn into your cups, okay? So they're meant to be stamped on and then cut out. So let's show you how that works. So grab a couple blocks here. So now these stamps, like they're pretty wiggly, right? There's a lot going on there. So what I like to do with these is just kind of like loosely drop them and then pick them up with my block. Anything that's not solid, because if you try to like hold it in your hand and get it on your block, you might squish the shape and it's not going to be true to how it's going to be. So it's good to just kind of drop it, let it fall naturally, and then pick it up with your block, especially this tall one. There. And then it's going to be true to the shape that you're going for. And then we're going to grab this paper. Obviously, I've already been cutting into it. And I'm going to stamp my outline in gray granite because I kind of liked how on the DSP that the outline of the cups was subtle. It wasn't like full on black. So I'm going to use gray granite. And then you just ink it up. And what you want to do is you want to have the top of your cup kind of coming above the color so that you've got that white space like in the glass, and then make sure the bottom has full color in it. Okay, so just like that. And then we'll do the small one, maybe in a different color here. Okay, and then we can just go ahead and cut these out. So let's cut these out together. And I've got the mini out. I'm going to use my mini machine, so I'm just going to cut these out. The mini machine can fit things up to like 3¼ inches, I think, wide. And so I'll just make those a little smaller here. Sometimes I forget to use my mini. The other day, I was totally fighting with everything on my desk. I had so much stuff on my desk that I was like, why am I not using the mini? And then I'm not going to be fighting with all these different products. Okay, so I'll show you this one. And then once we've got a few pieces, then we're going to make our 2 cards today. But I just kind of wanted to show you all the fun things that you can do with the dies and with the DSP. So then you have your cute little cup there. And of course, we can cut this one out too. Get rid of that paper. And we'll grab this die. Line it up. Okay. Sorry, it totally shakes my camera. I know. When my camera actually like hooks onto my desk, and so it always gets wiggly when I run my machine through. So the next thing I wanted to show you is, let's grab a cup here. Well, I just got this one again. So there's this die, and maybe you're wondering what this one does. So this one doesn't cut anything out. It just has this fun, like, detailed texture on it. So obviously, I should have done these at the same time, but you can do them together and then it will cut out your cup at the same time. Or you already got your cup. It does have a slightly rounded bottom, so it does go just kind of one direction. So you just kind of line it up inside there. And we'll run this through. And so see, it doesn't cut anything out, but look at that fun. Let's get that to zoom in. Check it out. It's so cute. I love that. So we're going to use one of those. And then there is a cup. And then you can do it on the ones that are already designed, right? So this is one from the DSP. And then I use that die on it, and then it kind of adds a lot of rich texture to that as well. So that's super fun. So that's kind of all the different, I mean, there's definitely more ways. And then you can start filling in your cups, right? So maybe you want to add some of the fruit, some of the ice. Let's show you. I think I had, oh, there it is. So like this one, I stamped the little blackberries on the inside. So cute. And actually, Stampin' Up, go on the website because all their samples are so cute, and I got lots of inspiration from their samples. You could stamp ice cubes in, I tried on white, but my craft ink is pretty old. Look, you can hardly see it. But I've seen some people stamp their ice right in white craft ink. No, mine's too light. I'm going to have to re-ink that. Or you could try with the gray. This is with the gray granite. Stamp some ice in your cup. So there's lots of things to do there. But the other thing with your fruit, so I'll just show you a sec here, is you've got this pattern here, which I've already cut into a little bit. But this is the page that coordinates with all of the dies. So I have already used and cut out some, but I'll just show you. So you've got this one here, which is lavender. And I actually really love like the freshness of lavender in a drink. It's fun. This tiny one is a little blackberry, the little cherry, and the ones that have the little dot. I don't know if you knew this. Let's see if I can bring this up here. You're gonna zoom in. There's a little tiny dot at the end here. It's not really zooming in for me, but that's to help you get it on the stem. So you can line up around the image and then kind of move it till you see a little bit of stem in the dot, and then you know you've got the whole thing straight, especially with these teeny tiny ones. This one does the mint. Then you've got this one that does the rosemary, a strawberry, of course, and oh, the lemon. So the lemon does it too. This little one is an olive, so that coordinates with the stamp, but there's no olive on the paper that it can cut out. And this one is like the celery tops, I'm guessing, right? Like for a Caesar or something. So it has a stamped image, or you can use it as little greenery, but it doesn't have one on the paper. So just to show you that. And I don't know where I had all these to do. And so I've got some cut out here already. I'll show you. Right, so then it'll just cut them out for you. So it saves you a little bit on the fussy cutting. Hello, all the way from Germany. That's fun. Thanks for watching today. Okay, and you don't want to lose your little blackberry. So lots of fun things you can do. I just recommend getting like a little stash of cups, and then when you're making your cards, then you can just start piecing things together, and that just makes it a lot easier than, say, designing one cup per card. Then you can start making something and then be like, oh, this cup kind of looks cute, and then it'll just make the designing a little bit easier. So for our card today, we've got two fun ones. So I'm going to use Cloud Cover as the base, and Cloud Cover is one of our new in colors. I did 2 videos kind of featuring in colors, so be sure to go back and check out those ones. Um, the first video I did, I walked through kind of all the colors and comparisons, but Cloud Cover and Secret Sea are going to be amazing neutrals to fit into all of your favorite colors. It's such a great, it's such a great color, and I love it as a neutral. So that's going to be my card base. And then I wanted to incorporate some of the DSP that didn't have the fruit or the cups on it, because sometimes I find like I'm using this paper so much and then I'm kind of not using the other ones as much. So this way you can use these ones as your backgrounds, because you're not going to feel like, oh, I don't want to use the backside of the one that has all the cups on it or something, right? So this is just cut to 5 1/4 by 4. And that's just going to be the base of our card, just for a simple start. And then the fun thing about this suite is that it also comes with embossing folders. Who knew? I actually went through, picked out the embossing folders separately, and then realized they were in this suite. So I was like, oh, that's perfect. So there's this one. It's called Glass and Gardens on purpose, because this one, it's like you can make it kind of look like a crystal glass, right? So fun. I think it's going to be interesting to see all the creative ways that people use that. So that one didn't make it to my card today, but I wanted to use this one that has the flowers. And of course, these ones fit in the mini, so I'm going to use the mini. And I've got a piece of old olive here that is 5.5 by 3 1/4. And then I'm just going to line it up. It's basically the width of the folder, and then I just want a teeny bit hanging off on either end, and hopefully that's pretty straight. And then in the midi, you need your platform 1. I can grab that. Platform 1, your plate, and then the light gray plate number 3 on top. Because these are not 3D folders, they're just standard embossing folders. And then you can just run that through. And I love sets that work with the mini, because, like I said, it's so much easier to have on your desk with you than when you're crafting, instead of this big bulky machine, right? So if you don't need it, it's great to have the mini as an option. And look how pretty that is. So that's like the deboss side. And then, oh, emboss side is so lovely. I can't wait to use that in all sorts of things. So we're going to add this to our card. And this is a design that I kind of got inspiration from Stampin' Up's sample. So always go check out the samples that they've designed. I mean, they've got talented designers who can make beautiful cards. And so it's a great place to start if you're wondering how to use a suite. So we've got that. And then I just wanted to add a little strip, and I'm going to bring in a little of the orange. So this is just the other side of this same paper. And I think like about 5 inches. It doesn't have to be exact. This is a 1/2 inch strip. And this was just because it was left over from cutting out some DSP. So sometimes the scraps on your desk turn into a piece on your card, and then we'll just run that across. And sometimes you just need something to ground your images on, otherwise they get kind of lost. So now let's pick a couple glasses. So I think I had an idea to do this guy. What was the other one I was going to do? I forget already. Let's cut this out. So this was from the DSP. And so I can't use the die to cut it out because it'll cut off my little rosemary leaves. But this is a pretty forgiving shape to cut around. And then you just kind of like wiggle the paper to go around this kind of like detailed part. So you move the paper and then just let the scissors cut, as opposed to trying to direct your scissors. And then that works a little bit better. And then we'll go around there. And let's add, maybe we'll add the lemonade one to have some pretty yellow one here. So obviously there's lots of colors in here, so whichever one you lean to. So having the old olive on there gives a certain feel to the card. You can lean into the oranges and yellows or the purples or the pinks. And so there's lots of fun ways to use, I don't know, to mix and match your colors to find a look that you like. But I wanted this timid tiger, right? New kind of orange color. So it's kind of fun to bring in a little bit of orange, which I bet you most of us don't really like use orange a lot. That is very crooked, isn't it? I think I can still move it. I just was like, what is happening there? Okay. More or less straight. Then I've got a piece of basic white that's like an inch wide and about 3 or 3.5 inches long. And then there's the sentiment cheers. So we're going to use that. And I'm going to stamp in Timid Tiger, which is a really pretty orange. It's like softer. It's softer than pumpkin pie. And it is obviously darker than peach pie. It's kind of in between, but it's got a beautiful tone to it. I really like the tone in it. So there's our cheers. And then you've got these teeny tiny little matching sentiments that go with it. So for this one, I'm going to do the Let's Celebrate. And again, I'm just kind of put it loosely down and pick it up so that I can pick it up straight. And then I've just got scrap basic white, and I'll bring this up, it's so small. Let's Celebrate. And then I'll just cut it. Oops, I'm off the camera a little bit. Sorry. Cut off at an angle. And you can leave it like that if it's too small and you don't want to fuss anymore, but I'm going to trim it to size one more time. All right, let's close that up before we get ink all over those. And then I'm just going to center that so that the orange is kind of sticking out. Then we're going to grab our two glasses and see, we didn't even have to do anything but cut them out of the paper. So that's nice and easy. And we're going to grab some dimensionals. Yeah, I love the paper with images to cut out because sometimes it's just easier and you just want to make a fun little card and you can just cut out and it still looks amazing. Okay. And let's see which way. I think I want to put it this way. And then we'll put our little Let's Celebrate on it. And because it's so small, I'm going to just like cut some of my dimensional sides here. And then we can just peel off the backing. And then just layer that on. Fold this up. All right, this is our first card. So fun, right? Perfect for this time of year as we're getting, well, especially here in Calgary, right? We're getting finally nice weather so we can sit outside. And then there's also these amazing holographic resin dots, they're called. So I love these kind where they kind of take on the color of whatever you put them on. So they're going to look a little of a green hue. And there's 3 sizes. I'm just going to use the teeny ones on this card. And there we go. All right, so let's go on to the second one. And I'm going to start with the same cloud cover card base as our lovely neutral. And I'm going to use green again as the background. I didn't intentionally do that. I had just white as a background, but I felt it was too plain. So then I liked this paper. And you can't really see, but these little dashes, I think they are actually cloud cover. So when you put it on this paper, it actually looks really good. So that's the back side of this pattern here. And this is just a standard 4 by 5 1/4. And when you've got a fun set like this that has these little details, whether it's flowers or cups, we're just kind of creating, it's like you're creating a background for the cups. They're the star of the show, right? So it just depends how elaborate you want to be or simple. And it's just the cups or you want to add a lot of details. So this time I added a few extra layers. So I've got a piece of the DSP here that has the strawberry slush. And so this is 4 by 3. And then I've just got some strawberry slush cardstock, which I'm just going to add behind. So you could do a full piece behind, and then it would be 4 by 3.5. Or you can just have these strips, and then they're 4 by 1 inch. And so I'll just put adhesive along the top and bottom, and then add it to the little cardstock strips. So about 1/4 of an inch is sticking out, like so. And then if anything's a little uneven, then I can just trim it off, and then we'll add our adhesive to the whole thing this time. And center it or go a little higher to the top. There we go. Okay, so for now, I want to introduce you to the pretty, pretty ribbon, the gold striped ribbon. And it's so nice. Like, I love the texture of it. It feels great. When I opened it, I was like, ooh, this is nice. I don't know how they keep coming up with such beautiful stuff. I'm going to cut about 10 inches. Then I'm going to grab some tear and tape, which I've got somewhere. Here we go. And I'm just going to lay down a couple strips of the tear and tape to stick the ribbon into. And I'm basically just folding it in half so that it loops at the top. And then, because this one's kind of sticking up, maybe I'll flip it over. It might lay a little bit flatter. And then I wanted to have like another color for it to sit on. So you could just grab any shaped dies, whether that's the stylish shapes or the nested essentials, spotlight on nature, any of the ones that are kind of just a basic shape. I cut out this banner piece with the nested essentials dies. And then this is just the back here. So it's got cloud cover in it. So it ties again to the background. And I'm going to use dimensionals to put this on. And this is, again, we're creating a spot to stick our drinks onto so they don't get lost onto our card. All right, so put that on. And now let's get some glasses, some drinks ready. Let's get some drinks ready. So I'm going to use this one that I stamped earlier, and then we cut out that pretty detail. Remember that? So we're going to use this one. And then I wanted to show you, oh, this would be perfect. So obviously we've got all these fun things that we can stamp. There's even like a little toothpick to go with the olive, so cute. And then there's a little umbrella. You know, we just had like a little Cinco de Mayo party as a family the other day. Just for fun, just an excuse to have some Mexican food. And my son was like, "Do we have little party umbrellas to stick in the drinks?" I'm like, "Yes, yes, we do." And so he ran down to my summer bin, got out the little umbrellas, and just stuck it in the drinks. And it's fun, right? You don't have to have like a special occasion. You can just make it fun. So I just stamped this in gray granite because that's what I've been using. And I'm going to use Stampin' Blends to color it. But you can just stamp it. Let's just bring this back. Like, this paper is amazing, right? Like, just stamp it on there and cut it out, and it's got like a rich texture already, and you don't even have to do anything. You could use a blending brush to add color. You can use your Stampin' Blends. I'm going to use, what is this? Light pumpkin pie with light calypso coral. This is a combo I used recently with tulips, and I loved it. And I thought, oh, this is going to look great with these drink colors that I already got going on. So, and then I'm just gonna do, so I did the pumpkin pie from the top, and then I'm just going to bring up the light Calypso coral from the bottom, just for like a little ombre look here. And then I'll just go back and kind of like soften the blending between the two. So blending is always just however fussy you want it to be. So if I wanted to go back over it again and again, just to kind of smooth it out, but that's not bad. As I fuss with it more, it'll dry more blended too. But it's kind of similar colors, right, to that. Pretty in pink is the pink in here as well, so that would work in the same way. And let's go ahead and cut this out. And I'll use my mini again. So plate one. Let's get all these pieces on here. Okay, and we'll cut that out. Okay, so then I was trying to decide if it's worth fussing with the little stick or not. So in the stamp set, there is a little tiny line, which can be the stick for your umbrella, or you could just cut a piece of DSP or cardstock, which I think I got. Like, okay, I have this little scrap of strawberry slush, and I'm just going to cut it out because I think that's easier than stamping and cutting out an umbrella. And I'll just put it in a glue dot. And then kind of got to decide on your angle there, and I'll put another glue dot on the other end. And then I kind of want part of the umbrella hanging over the glass, kind of like that. So you can just put this flat on, or you can do dimensionals again. So we'll put this guy on. So cute with the umbrella. And then for our next glass, I've got this one here. So this is one I stamped on one of those like plain squares. And then I've cut out the little orange peel from the DSP. And so then you can just make it so it looks like it's hooking on. So I think I'll just put a glue dot on the front of the one. Let's see if that works. I think that works. And then you can tuck a glue dot underneath. Sometimes when I'm trying to tuck a glue dot into a little space, I just use my take your pick tool. And then I can tuck it underneath where I want it to go. just hide it in there. All right. Couple dimensionals. And just to level this off, I'm going to put a little seal on this side. And then angle that there. And then we just need a sentiment again, right? So we're going to use that cheers again. So let's just clean that off. Oh, and my umbrella is a little puffy. So I forgot that it needed a dimensional back there too. There we go. Look, I got myself a new chamois. Look how clean it is. Mine lasted a very long time. You don't really need to replace them that often, but mine was like ripping and getting kind of old and musty. So it was time for a new one. So this time we're going to stamp in Strawberry Slush. Okay, do you have a favorite new in color yet? I know Strawberry Slush is technically returning favorite, but I love it. I'm a big fan. All right, and I had a little piece of white cardstock, but I think it was too little, and now I've lost it somewhere. Okay, I'm just gonna grab another. I'm gonna bump my camera probably. Sorry about that. Just grab a strip. I just have like a bucket of strips of like white. And I'm just going to ink up my cheers. So how big is this? About 3/4 of an inch. And then I'll just trim it to size. Hopefully straight-ish. And then I've got this little piece of cloud cover here. I feel like with these itty bitty sentiments, you need kind of something to ground them a little bit. So I'm going to use this other one that says, "It's your day." And so we'll just pick that up, and I'm going to stamp it in Secret C, which is also another amazing neutral. And this piece of cloud cover is like 1 1/4 by 1. And then I'm going to stamp the "It's Your Day" right along the bottom. And again, I know that's teeny tiny. Teeny tiny. Then I'm just going to layer these up together. I can make this a little wider too, but then it's just something for the little itty bitty "It's Your Day" to hang on to, and it doesn't really, it's just so small. I don't want to lose it. And we will put dimensionals and adhesive. And then the pink ties into our pink DSP, and then we just need some of the gems. And I think this time I'll do 1 in each size. And then every time you make this card, it's probably going to look a little bit different. You can make a little set, right? Because you could just use different drinks, different colors. And I've got a little mess here already, full of little cups. And this is our second one. Cheers! It's your day. And let's bring back the other one. Let's celebrate. All right, so there we go. There's so much more that we could do with this suite. Thanks for hanging out with me today and watching these cards. I hope you gave you a little bit of ideas of what you can do with it, how the paper works. I think if you wanted to just start small, then you could just get the DSP, cut things out, use it that way, and then build up to the bundle if you wanted to, or just go all in and get the whole suite. It's actually a pretty good price for the whole suite because the dies are small, so it's really awesome. So I hope that you enjoy these, and I can't wait. I hope you sign up for my catalog launch party, celebratory catalog launch party, because this paper is going to be the theme. My favorite thing is to make favors and things like that. So I'm going to make favors out of this. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to get to play with some new products and get some ideas of some of the new things. So make sure you sign up before next Thursday for all the fun. And yeah, I will be back another time with some more fun projects. So until then, take care, guys. Bye-bye.